Hello, thank you everyone for attending another content value add podcast. This is Seewing Yee from the You Listen Network, and my special guest speaker is Maureen McCann from Spartan Invest. Thank you for your time, Maureen, to discuss this very unique topic. And I will share the screen. And the topic is like this. You and I, your company, my company, we've been working with risk investors for years and years, and we see the pros and cons, we see success stories, we see some challenges, and what have you. So today we can briefly go over why most real estate investors never reach their quote unquote the finish line. All right, so it is not what you think. What we mean by never reach the finish line. All right, we all know, Maureen, that 1% of the people take action, 1% of the masses. Of the 1% that took action and bought rental real estate, unfortunately, as I monitor many of the investors that have purchased properties, as I monitor them over the years, the majority would never maximize their potential. What I mean by that? It's not what you think. It's not about lack of money. What they're lacking, in my opinion, again, I have worked with thousands of risk investors in my lifetime. I've been doing it for almost 20 years now. And anyway, that's what I feel. What they're lacking is emotional intelligence. They could be the following. It could be more definition of it. You can chime in momentarily, Maureen. It is positive attitude, discipline, patience, problem solving, and also real estate. I know you and I promote turnkey, out of state, remote, almost passive investment properties, right? Now you have to really look at what the word passive means. Okay, so a risk investor, they need to think of themselves like a business owner. They need to really redo their mindset. They need to become an entrepreneur. If you listen to Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, he made that very clear distinction. And Maureen, you might want to talk briefly about that book's philosophy. But so my final take is, in reality, most of the risk investors that you and I work with, they come from the mindset that they are a W-2. They come from a W-2 job, right? They work for corporate before entering our risk investing game, meaning the W-2 job, they are engineers working for a high-tech company. They are a nurse or doctor working for a large medical company, right? They're working for someone, right? They just earn this nice, hopefully nice W-2 paycheck, and they want to diversify into real estate, thinking it's kind of easy. Yeah, they have the money, yeah, they have the financial resources available, but when they enter the real estate game, something that is not right. So a lot of them fail because of their inability to adapt and to transform themselves from a W-2 mindset, working for others, and into a business owner mindset or entrepreneur mindset. So with that in mind, I'm sure you have a lot of great thoughts about it. So what is your definition of a successful investor long-term? And so what do you take in terms of what I just went over?
Well, I actually was that person. I was the W-2 income earner that made the switch over to an entrepreneur. And it didn't happen because I just decided. I had to reprogram the way that I had my thinking about many things. And so the and sometimes you guys, it's like you want to like, it's like this tug of war, right? Like I want to do this over here because I heard my friend, you know, a lot of times it's this, my friend was successful in real estate. That's why I'm calling you, right? I'm calling you, I'm still fearful, but I'm calling you anyway, because it's my friend is having success. So so I love when those types of investors call, because it's like they're eager, they want to know, they're wanting change, but still fighting the mindset piece. So that if you guys have not read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, it is something that I highly recommend, because he will talk to you about the different quadrants. There's 4 of them. And most of us, the W-2B included when I was there, I was on the I guess the one side where I was taxed the most, right? My ordinary income was taxed the most, and I just kind of lived on what was left over. Then I made the transition with a lot of effort, with a lot of coaching, with a lot of reading, and a lot of having to believe in something different than what I had thought before. When you get over to the investor business owner side of the quadrant, you're taxed less. And so a lot of, and I can think of this one investor, I love this guy. He was able to, he built a real estate portfolio, him and his wife did. He's got 15 units, 15 single families right now. And I always got 2 more under contract. So he's getting closer to his 20, but he was able to retire his job. He was able to let go of his W-2, and he was able to, he manages his portfolio of properties. That's his job now, right? Is he's the manager, he oversees his portfolio. The tax advantages are much better. He has freedom of his time. He likes to be hands-on. So he's the guy that, you know, for the properties that are near him, he's doing stuff himself, but he's hired us as his property manager for the properties that are out of his state where he lives. So it is, and he just had a dream and a desire to get to that point. And so that was what he did. He used some of the words that you used, Seewing. He had a positive attitude. He used discipline. He was persistent. He was patient. And he was strategic in what he was looking to do. And he did it very methodically, shut out the noise from others, and just did what he wanted to do. The great thing about that now is he tells me that his friends are now asking him, how did you do that? I want to know, right? So a lot of times it is these investors that just make a decision to do something different because they want something different. And then they take the action, which is, you know, he bought his first one, then he bought his second one, then his third, fourth, fifth, 15th. Now he's on almost number 17, right? But that just, he just to wake up one day and go, this is what I'm going to do. It's like, wait a minute, I want something different. I'm getting older. I have greater expenses. I'm worried about outliving my money. I don't want to work forever. So what do I do? And that's what usually happens when investors get on the phone, maybe with me and you. They're kind of at that, what do I do phase in their life, right? They've got to make a decision. Am I going to go left or right? There's that saying about the fork, you know, come to the fork in the road, right? And so, yeah, you know, and just like I did, I came to that same fork and I was like, I've got to make a decision because I've got 3 kids. I want to be able to provide them a secure future financially. But what I was doing before is not going to deliver that for them now or me in the future. So it's definitely that mindset. It's that struggle. That book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, if you have not read it, pick it up today. Read it. It will get your mind to understand that maybe the beliefs that you have about wealth building or money may not be the right beliefs, right? They may be embedded from a time before, from someone else who had a different attitude towards wealth building and money. I came from a scarcity. My parents were very scarcity based, right? So I heard things, we can't afford that. Money doesn't grow on trees, turn off the lights. We don't own the electric company, all scarcity thinking. I really had to work, you guys, to get on the other side of the abundant thinking, but it was books and resources, coaches that were able to convince me that the beliefs that I had that I thought were just unchangeable were wrong. And that I had to take out that programming and put the new programming in. And if you can do the same thing, then you get a different outcome. This is not a message. We are not original on this messaging. We are not, right? This is just echoing something that your mind has to hear many, 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 many times before it finally sinks in. And then it pushes that all the excuses away. And it gives you the courage to take the action, to do what you need to do in order to change your financial future. And here's the thing, some of you are, and some of you are not. And that's just how it's going to be. I mean, we have very large databases. Not every single one of my 6,000 inquiries into Spartan Invest, not all of them have bought, right? They'll find the reasons why not to. And then there's the ones that find the reasons that will, and their lives will be very, very different. Their outcomes, their financial futures will be very, very different. And so with that, it's just really important to align yourself with good people. Be sure to get the information and education that you need. Always ask what's the worst case scenario, right? Because once you know what that is, then you go, okay, if it's a vacancy or if it's a repair, I replace the tenant, I fix the repair, I get another tenant, I move on. That's it. That's it. Really.
Yep. Yeah, very well said, Maureen. That's a very inspirational message. It's a great philosophy to have. Yes, my database, same thing over the years. The majority, well, are too fearful. Their inability to overcome fear for various reasons. A lot of it you just went over. So yeah, each investor out there, they need to find a way to motivate themselves, and look at themselves in the mirror, and inspire themselves. And if they think real estate is a great way to achieve wealth, then do it and align themselves with a good team like you and I. Respect their companies and just have a positive attitude, and just be proactive. Take an active participation, even though you're buying a portfolio of so-called passive investment out of state. But yeah, just focus, show commitment, show discipline, and long-term process is a journey. It's a journey.
Yeah. And just pick up the phone. I mean, Seewing and I, we are like, this is what we do. It's not even a job, it's a mission. It's a mission to help people get to where they want to go financially. And it could be in any sector that you guys have interest in. If you're interested in crypto, you go to the crypto guys. If you're interested in the gold and silver guys, go to those or gals, right? If you're interested in single family rental properties, we're the team. If you're interested in commercial real estate, I've got other people that I can refer you to. I'm sure Seewing does too, right? So it's just a matter of deciding what you want, figuring out the niche you want to go. If you're in the single family space and you want to just have that conversation, get connected with other people, and learn about what you can do. What's the first step? What's the step that you can take today? And that is schedule the appointment, reach out to Seewing. You've seen his email address and phone number on the slides. Same thing with me. Happy to meet with you, take your call. And one of the first questions I ask Seewing when I talk to new investors is, what scares you about this? Because I know it's true. I mean, what fears, worries, concerns do you have about this investment class, this investment strategy? And then I get it out on the table, right? And then it really comes down to, people go, I just don't want to lose money. And I'm like, I know, me neither. But guess what? If you lose money, I lose money too. And I'm not someone that likes to lose money. So, right. And then I tell them how we're set up as a business model. But I like to get that fear, those concerns out right in the open. It's my second question. Like, why are you doing this? And what scares you about this? Right? Open that dialogue with Seewing and myself. Let's unpack it, right? Let's uncover what it is, and then go, okay, if this is the biggest fear, and your biggest fear is I'm going to have a vacancy. It's like, yeah, you will. When there's a turnover, when the one tenant decides to move on, they need a bigger house or a smaller house, they're transferring out of the state, whatever, they need to vacate that property. Yes, there will be a vacancy. right? But you need a team that's dedicated to get that vacancy filled as fast as possible. And if you just have the let's say, call it a month or 2 months reserves on the side to carry that note until it's re-rented. It could even be days that it's with re-rented, but I like to give people, you know, a wider range, right? If you have that there on the side, you're covered until the next tenant comes in and then is, you know, paying all the expenses again. So that's one big fear. I'm afraid of vacancy. It's going to happen. Just have reserves on the side. Then they'll say, well, I'm really afraid of like a big repair. And I'm like, well, look at what we've done to mitigate that risk, right? You're not going to have a roof, HVAC, water heater repair for very many years because we've replaced all those, right? If it's a brand new build to rent, there's a 1-year warranty on the entire structure. If it's a rehab property, it's the manufacturer's warranties that apply to the roof, HVAC, and water heater. So those are covered at least for a minimum of 10 years, 10 for the water heater, 15 for the HVAC, and 40 for the metal roofs that we use. So those big capital expenditures or those large CapEx expenses, we've deferred those, you know, with installing those new units under warranty. And then, you know, if you do have, let's say, a weird repair that comes up, it's a couple $1,000s. We just deduct it from the rent, right? So you may not get rent for that month, but you've got a property that is in your name, that's earning you equity, that's earning you a tax reduction, that's you're winning on the amortization or the loan pay down schedule. And then it's a great hedge against inflation because you've got control over the rents. So when people start telling what their fears are, I'm like, really? There's a solution to everything. There really is, right? If the renter's not working out, we get another one. We get them in a timely fashion, that works out for you. If you've got a repair, you have the money to fix it, there you go. And if you don't, we just deduct it from the rent, right? So once those kind of fears sort of come up and you offer people solutions on how to handle those types of situations, or the things that we do as a company to mitigate those from the start, then you just kind of feel the ease in the conversation, right? But I address it all the time because it's real. I mean, I get people are doing things new. I mean, when I haven't gone into crypto yet because I don't know anything about it. Still a little fearful of it. It's not, that doesn't have any intrinsic value, right? I don't know what it's backed on. Some of you would probably be like, oh, I'm big into crypto. Fine, you've learned more than I have, right? I would need to come to you to leverage your knowledge so that I can get educated in this space if I wanted to go in there. It's the same thing with Seewing and I. You just leverage our experience and knowledge, and 2,100 doors of knowledge, right, and experience. I could tell you things that have happened, good and bad, and how sometimes the bad things actually worked out favorably for the investor. So I encourage you guys to call. Just tune in and lay all your fears and worries on me because I know I have a resolution for them.
Yep. Well said, Maureen. You are good at what you do. You're successful. So you are magnetic. You attract people. The law of attraction.
Then where's my man? Just kidding.
Who needs a man?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Well, powerful. Once again, powerful information is something that you should resonate with people. So, if you're a investor out there, you know that I feel afraid to take that step. Just hear this message again. Hear what Maureen has just articulated to you, and it's powerful. But it's all good. Thank you so much. Wow. You know, each time we do more podcasts, and you will be surprised me with more powerful messages, and really appreciate that. So you're precious. You need to impact a lot of people. I'm honest. More people need to get to know you because you can help people. So you and I similar. We love helping people. We care about people. Risk investors, they're not just a number to you and I. They are people. They're people who have a lot of challenges, have a lot of personalities and issues. That so we have to understand their unique, what makes them tick. What we have to understand. You and I have to understand their background. What motivates them to think certain things. So the more we understand the whole big picture of a risk investor, the more we know about their goals, objectives, their challenges, the more we can help them. We can tailor-make our uh, 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 assistance that can help them to take the next step. So thank you so much, Maureen McCann from Spartan, to Seewing Yee from Yee Research Network. Thank you so much. Hopefully all of you out there are able to get some value out of this presentation. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.